Salam everyone and welcome to The Lounge, an online talk show powered by the Asbury. And on this show, we are basically exploring the human dimension, the grind, the motivation and aspiration of all and every guest of ours. And on this episode, we are being graced by none other than the FDCP Film Development Council of the Philippines chairperson, Miss Liza Diño. Hello po, Miss Liza Diño.
Hi, RHADEM. Hi, everyone. I don't know what time of the day you're watching, but I'm so happy to be part of the show.
And thank you so much for making time. I know you're busy there in the US with a lot of your agencies, errands and important matters to improve not just the quality of promotion of the films of the Philippines, but also the internal part of the agency, so you could give a better service for the Philippine industry.
Hired.
No, but it's been a long time since we met. No, it was before the pandemic.
Yeah.
And I think that should be a topic as well that we should also discuss, because a lot of agencies, especially agencies of the government and also the private sector, have really struggled throughout the pandemic. And I'm quite curious, before we actually go to my line of questioning, how did Film Development Council of the Philippines manage and go through the challenges of the pandemic, and also to assist our filmmakers, and also at the same time promote the films of the Philippines, knowing that the cinema did close, not just in the Philippines but all over the world. So how did your agency manage that under your leadership?
Well, ang swerte ko because I have a very young team, and it wasn't as hard for them to transition into a remote work setup. So talagang business as usual kami. And what we did was to really prioritize and created intervention programs para ma-address yung pagkukulang and yung gap na mangyayari sa mga workers natin, yung displacement ng workers natin, the lack of work, and yung walang ayuda, ang daming lumabas na mga bagay-bagay na kailangan pa pala nating i-improve as an industry. We are very informal as a sector. We are not recognized as a formal economy. Thereby, hindi tayo nagkakaroon ng access sa mga pondo na pwedeng ibigay ng gobyerno, sa mga ayuda, sa mga financial aid na pwedeng ibigay ng government, because hindi tayo part ng employment structure na meron ang iba't ibang government agency. So we had to take action, and we had to really do something about it. So that's what we did. I think we managed the pandemic knowing that there's so much more to be done, and actually parang mas marami pa kaming mas maraming nagawa ng pandemic, kasi may mga initiatives kami na bago sa amin. We've always been supporting the filmmakers, the creatives, directors, producers, the cinema owners. I mean, there's so much support that's being given to I would say that yung pinaka-creators or key creators of the industry. Pero kulang yung interface namin with the workers, yung mga manggagawa talaga natin, yung technicians natin, yung technical crew natin. And it was an opportunity for us to finally be able to extend the FDCP's help and the government's help to them through our DEAR program, bakuna, and all that. So, yun, naging rewarding siya para sa amin, kasi parang nabuo yung suporta at saka yung mga programa pwede naming gawin for the entire industry.
Would it be safe to say po na despite the challenges of the pandemic, your agency have actually learned and improved a lot because of the pandemic?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of challenges also that we met.
How you transform all throughout the
My
years.
life is my work now. So parang hirap din, di ba? Parang pag tinanong mo ako sa personal life ko, parang if I'm spending, a good amount of my day at work, talagang tulog na lang, tsaka konting oras sa asawa kong nanghihingi ng sandali. Parang wala rin ako makukwento.
I, I think it was already a challenge being a filmmaker and making films. It's actually a struggle, and not having enough time, especially pag may location shoot kayo farther from where you live. And now being the head of the FDCP, I can imagine like, is she camping now at the FDCP?
Yeah, actually, may ano na kami dun, kaibigan ko na lahat ng multo, gano'n, sa office namin. Kasi inuumaga na kami do'n. Hindi, I mean, of course, it's not something that happens every day, but siguro it just tells you how committed we are, that if we need to do the work, we will do the work. And yun nga katulad ng sinabi mo, we've gone through so much, no? Hindi din siya parang, wow, FDCP nandyan for us ba? Ang dami ring mga negative feedback, maraming mga hindi satisfied. But I always see it as an opportunity for us to improve. There's always something to gain, and to always parang learn from what they say, and to look into ourselves na, okay, paano natin, may merit yan, hanapan natin. para
Yeah.
para ma-improve natin yung ginagawa natin. So, it's always a learning experience for us.
And also no, I think I'm not really trying to butter anything on this in regards with FDCP, no. But if I would compare it to the previous leadership of the FDCP, mas maingay yung FDCP ngayon. Maingay in a positive context. Like, you always have the program. I always see you everywhere. It's like, ang daming ganap na FDCP. So which is actually good because you're exploring a lot of possibility that your agency can explore to improve not just the welfare of the filmmakers, but also the advantage to promote the Philippine films, no?
Oh yeah, tsaka doon mo talaga makikita ang lawak ng Philippine cinema, ang lawak ng industriya, na hindi lang siya para i-promote yung pelikula natin, hindi lang siya para supportahan yung mga filmmakers natin na gumagawa ng films. It's also to really address, kung ano yung mga pwede nating gawin para sa mga players na bumubuo ng industry.
I think one of the things that I'm really thankful of, no, kasi during the pandemic, a lot of my crews, we don't have projects, so we are always project-based because as a filmmaker, it's mostly project-based. And I'm thankful that most of them got their ayuda from the FTCP. It's not that big, but it did help them to keep them afloat. And that was really, really good because I cannot pay for everyone. Like, oh my God. So good thing at this like, meron pa ayuda for the filmmakers who lost their job. And no, not really lost their job, but who doesn't have project during the pandemic. And that was actually a crucial point for filmmaker to still continue doing film despite the challenges. And how does it feel po, Chair Liza, as a chairperson of the Film Development Council of the Philippines, basically you have this platform, you have this influence, and you're in a way being put in the position where you're representing the Philippine film industry abroad. How does it feel? I mean, I'm pretty sure that there are challenges and there are pressure, and you mentioned a while ago that there are a lot of criticism. But what is it for you to have this kind of platform and voice to represent the Philippine industry?
I actually see it from a position of privilege, kasi parang to represent our cinema and to be that person that will really push and give our filmmakers, our industry, that leverage, and say and tell our international stakeholders na we belong there. Hindi yung parang, here's the Philippines. I mean, iba-iba siya. Actually, I play different roles. May mga times na parang, hi, here's the Philippines. Please look at us. please take notice of us. Pero meron ding mga platforms where we are the Philippines. We are Philippine cinema. I know that right now we are one of the leading Southeast Asian film industry, and that there's a space, and there we have audiences who will watch our films. So siguro yun yung pinaka-exciting sa akin, yung parang taking on that challenge na how can I make them fall in love and embrace not just our cinema, but the stakeholders who are part of it.
As a chairperson of Film Development Council, and at the same time as a mother and also a loving partner to your partner, how do you manage to put your emotional and mental health in check? Given that I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty aware of this, I'm that we have our personal life and our work life. We also have a different life to that. How do you manage to sort of like keep everything in check, your mental health, your emotional health, knowing that your how to preserve your private life without really, there's a certain compromise there. Iba yung image mo in public eye as the head of FDCP. You have to play that responsibility and you have to play that role.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that it comes with certain baggage. And how do you handle it?
Well, I'm so lucky to have a husband who's so supportive of me na parang, alam mo yung parang end of day, alam niya na sa kanya ako magvi-vent. Tas sa kanya ko sasabihin lahat, like shock absorber ko talaga siya. So parang ako kasi 'pag nasabi ko na, yun yung ugali ko, 'pag nasabi ko na okey na ako, eh. Pero siya yung hindi okey kasi apektadong-apektado siya sa mga pinagdaanan ko nung araw na yun. So siya yung galit na galit, siya yung naiinis. So, ayan tuloy baka naka-contribute ako sa depression ng asawa ko, Pero you know what I mean? Like I think the reason why I'm able to find that balance is because my husband and my daughter, you know, they work with me. They to find and to find that balance. Sila yung nagre-remind sa akin na, you know, oh, ayak ka na naman. Akin na yung telepono mo, tapon na natin. You know, may ganun na sila na parang, pero pag kailangan ko talagang, for example, it was my daughter's birthday, this March. So, and I can't be there with her. And she's so understanding of it. Kasi andun na siya sa, you have a purpose and we're so proud of you. So, as long as they're there, I think I'll always find that balance between my work and our personal life.
I think that's really important not to have a support system and being in this position, knowing that you cannot please everyone. Having support system is really essential for you to do better. And I think I strongly believe in that. One of the best trivia I've learned about Miss Liza Diño is you've joined beauty pageant in the past.
Talagang hindi ako makakalampas sa mga ganyang tanong, eh.
And it was also quite interesting kasi my cousin also won Mutiat ng Pilipinas and also joined the Miss Tourism International like way back 2013-ish.
Oh my God!
So sabi ko, wait lang,
Wow!
what a small world.
Yes! And it's like 2 years after I joined. Because I joined in, I think I joined in 2011. And
Oh, just 2 years.
yeah. So I was Mutian ng Pilipinas 2011 and I joined Miss Tourism International the year after, I think. Or no, or parang that year, end of the year yata yun. So yes, I've gone through that as well. Actually, dalawang pageant pa nga. I also joined Miss Philippines Earth.
Oh, that's no wonder you have the beauty and you also have the sense of responsibility on doing amazing things. But what's interesting is that it's already given a lot of beauty queens, such as you are. They always lead to being an actress, so it's not a surprising thing. But it's also a bit, when you think about it, from beauty queen to actress and becoming a public servant. I was like, okay, that was a huge transition. And not just becoming a public servant, but a head of a big agency that has a big shoe to fill. So, what led you into this idea of transitioning?
Honestly, I actually feel that that part of my life is fate. Kasi we were given a position and an opportunity to support the president, And at the time of his campaign, we wanted nothing more but just to volunteer and be part of that movement. Na parang, we wanted change. We were all part of that. And after that, we were all asked to submit our CV. Oh, sino gusto there's an open call, there's an opportunity for us to serve. And at that time, kasi, hindi lang kasi kami nagka-campaign nun eh. We were also soliciting the arts and culture agenda. Kami ni ICE yun. We were meeting with the um, different disciplines, no? From theater, kasi I'm also a theater actress. So mayroon kaming community na theater actors, and then I also do TV, I also do film. Tapos maraming may gustong mag-submit ng arts and culture agenda. And that we collated that and we submitted on their behalf. And that led to us, being given an opportunity to really apply. So, ako naman, sabi ko, ba't naman ako lalayo? Nasa industriya ako ng film. So, I applied sa Film Development Council of the Film, not knowing that I'm gonna end up being a chairperson. So, ganun ko siya kinareer.
But how do you manage to, what do you call this? How do you manage to like adapt or blend or get through the process? Because there are a lot of gatekeepers in our industry. And you being a young woman with strong drive, with new and modern ideas, and you're basically you entered an agency where, there are traditional ways of doing and promoting films. So what was the challenge? I mean, this is internal, but it will be nice to know how you break those walls.
My God.
Controversial.
Well, my first year was not just having to prove myself internally as a legit, public servant, but even the outside. I mean, part ako ng industriya. I'm a working actress. Hindi ako sikat. Hindi ako Bea Alonso or kung sino man pinakasikat. But I'm a working actress and I've been working in this industry in the last 18 years. But that's not enough because our industry is not about that. Nakakalungkot man, pero yung industry natin, meron siyang rites of passage para masabing, okay, qualified ka. And that was my biggest challenge because I needed to prove to everyone that I deserve this position and that I can actually be of service and be effective in what I do. So, for me, I just did the work. Parang alam ko lang that if I fuel myself with the same passion I have for acting at dinivert ko siya dito sa public service, ma-achieve ko yung gusto kong marating. Kasi I know, as an actor, may pagka-nerd talaga ako. Like, I study, iba't ibang acting techniques na pinag-aralan ko. As in, para maging magaling na artista. So, sabi ko, I can apply that as a public servant. So, talagang, I attended every single conference available. I studied ins and outs of the industry, from development to production to distribution to exhibition to film financing to co-production to international financing. So lahat parang I wanted to absorb it all para alam ko na once I go head to head or tinanong ako ng industry people like what is my goal, what's the plan, how can I envision progress representing the film industry, then I know where to go and hindi ako parang wala rin akong masagot. So, I equipped myself. Pumasok ako, wala akong dalang mga tao. Hanggang ngayon, 90%, 95% of FDCP are all organic hires. Hindi ako yung parang, di ba, normally may dala kang team. Hindi talaga kasi parang naniwala ako na kung I will work with a team that's given to me.
Nagkaroon ka ba ng challenges or were people, ano yung na-feel mo yung cause, mostly the reason behind why people question your leadership? Was it because you're a woman, you're young, or you're an actress? Because we have that kind of notion like, he's young, she might not be able to do it. oh, she's a woman, she's probably not strong enough.
Yes!
Oh, di
All of the
ba?
above.
There's always...
All of the above. Narinig ko na lahat yan. Ay, babae, mahina yan, hindi yan makaka-oo sa mga sinihan. Ay, yung mga ganon. Hindi niya mapapasunod yung mga ganyan siya. Ah, Diyos ko, obscure actress? Ano bang pinatunayan yan sa industriya? Ba't yan nandyan? Di ba? Tapos, ah, ano, naku, bata! Ano ba? Institusyon na tayo? Bakit nandyan yan? Ayun. So, lahat ng sinabi mo, yun. Lahat nasagap yung mga marites.
But how do you overcome those challenges? I mean, you've attended the seminars, you attended all the trainings, you well equip yourself, you basically knows that you're entering a battlefield and you brought all the ammunition that you needed. But there are still questions. There are still people who question your leadership. How do you handle those kind of things?
Well, siguro I always approach it in the lens of humility. Yun siguro yung unang-una na parang I cannot please everyone. Pero I know that I will not allow for these negative feedbacks to affect me. Marami akong natutunan before, Diyos ko, pinagdaanan ko rin yan, yung magpapatol ako sa mga comments sa akin. Kasi ang akala ko nun, pag in-explain ko sarili ko, mas maiintindihan ako ng tao. Pero hindi, di ba? Parang,
Hindi.
the more you put yourself in that position, the more that you're opening up and you're inviting people to criticize you because they already have that opinion of you no matter what. So hindi ko na dumating na ako sa point na I cannot change how you see me because that's you. Pero and I will not call you out because bakit ganyan tingin mo sa akin, ganyan. Hindi siguro, wala na ako doon kasi it's taking away the energy that I can use para mas lalo kong pagbutihan yung ginagawa ko. So, nandun ako, nakarating na ako sa talagang, masakit pa rin siya, iiyak ko na lang siya sa asawa ko. Pero bukas okay na ako ulit. Ganyan.
That's also right, no? Parang, why do we give people the authority for us to feel validated?
Yes.
Na parang, yeah.
Libreng manira 'di ba? Libreng magsalita ng kung ano-ano sa tao. Sa Facebook lang 'yan, you just have to write, 'di ba? Ang pangit mo, that's it. Pero you know what? That word, sometimes that phrase, it affects your whole day. Kasi and you realize, why am I allowing a person who I do not even know, 'di ba? Why am I letting them affect how kumbaga yung psyche ko? Yun, tapos parang, yung mga taong kakilala ko naman, na gano'n, na parang minsan, dati hindi ako makapaniwala kasi it's so personal to me, na parang, kilala ko to in person, tas ganyan yung tingin sa akin, may ganun kang feeling, di ba? Pero, hindi you have to be able to separate your work, and this is how they're judging you because of the work that you do, sa personal kong buhay. So parang, as long as sa sarili ko, alam ko na, okay, they will say what they have to say kasi they're coming from a place that I will never know probably. Pero as long as unang-una, hindi ko sila pinapatulan. Pangalawa, dadaanin ko siya sa trabaho. And siguro last, I will keep a positive, hindi ko sila, I will not shun them. So, I don't know if napapansin niyo, but even those people that, have a lot of negative feedback or maraming hindi, kasi nababasa ko lahat yon kahit hindi ako nagsasalita.
Ako hindi na ako nagbabasa. Kaya bala kayo dyan.
I extend the same support to them. Kumbaga, never siya naging rason para hindi sila masuportahan ng FECP. And that's what we champion.
Sure, Liza, I just want to congratulate you na na-extend yung appointment mo for 3 years.
I know. Thank you. I cannot deny. I'm really, really happy kasi parang my extension is not just for myself. It's also for the continuity of our programs. And of course, meron internally kasi syempre, ang dami ko pang gustong ayusin din sa loob ng ahensya namin. Kasi right now, we have more than 3/4 of our team in FDCP are all contract of service. So kami yung ahensya na talagang super undersized, meaning hindi kami nakarating dun sa tamang ilan ba dapat talaga yung merong plantilla positions. Kumbaga yung talagang kawani ng gobyerno under FDCP. So isa yun sa pinakabagay na dala-dala ko. Sabi ko, naku, ayokong matapos sa FDCP na hindi ko man lang nabigay yun sa mga tao, sa mga staff. So I'm happy because after this election, aanuhin ko rin yun, aayusin ko rin yun.
So, let's segue muna away from your public service life. So,
Yeah.
what's next for Liza Diño? And
Well,
especially now na na-extend na naman yung position mo. So basically, there will be more challenges and there will be more things that you have to focus to. But on your personal life, what's next for you?
well, I started going back to flamenco. I took a class right before I left. So, I'm hoping na kahit pa paano makasayaw ako ulit kasi isa siya sa mga passion ko ever since. And parang kailangan ko na talaga bumalik sa
Yung mga braso
Gumalaw.
ni Mercedes.
Kailangan ko mga braso de Gusto ko maging Maria Mercedes. Ayoko maging braso de Mercedes. So yeah, definitely. I'm telling myself, parang baka naman payagan na ako, baka pwede akong umarte kahit isang pelikula lang isang taon. Yung may mga ganyan akong naiisip kasi parang 6 na taon na rin akong hindi nakakaarte. You know, but other than that, I've always been, my husband and I has always been discussing about the whole getting pregnant, you know. Pero parang ang daming ayoko na nga siyang i-declare kasi parang gusto kong mangyari na lang siya kasi parang feeling ko pag ina-announce namin nauudlot.
Oh, that's good. That's a certain process that, carries certain joy, but also carries certain nervousness, questions, challenges. Like, are we really going to do this? Are we prepared? Will be, the post effect on this. So I think that's nice. I mean, that's a good process, and I'm excited for that. Hey.
I know. Ako din. May may sperm donor na kailangan na lang talaga yung pinaka-proseso.
Ay, winner. Push natin yan. para magkaroon na ng kapatid yung daughter mo.
Oo, Diyos ko. Na masyado nang nag-e-enjoy sa LA, sa Los Angeles, na parang she's asking me if she can stay longer. So, medyo naghahanda na rin ako bilang nanay na, oh my God, lumalaki na talaga yung anak ko. Baka...
Yung gastos.
Ayun.
So, you've mentioned yung what's next for you as a woman and yourself. What's next as a mother and as a partner?
Well, to be there for my husband more, because right now he's embracing this new path of him not just being a musician pero gusto rin niyang pumasok sa events, to be a director and all that. So parang ang dami niyang gusto pang gawin, and I want to support that kasi he's so talented, and I feel like parang kung paano niya ako sinesuportahan sa career ko as a public servant, parang I want to give him the same support. So yun, to be there more, hindi yung parang 11:00 na ng gabi, asan ka, wala ka pa dito sa bahay, umuwi ka na dito. So...
Itigil mo na yan!
So gusto ko yung parang, pagdating niya, ito na, nakakumot na ako, tara na. I wanna be that. I want to make him feel that, I'm able to balance para mas lalo niya ako supportahan kasi nga medyo pasaway na ako.
Well, it's a pasaway because we have like advocacy that we wanted to push for, and I think that's really essential when couples or partners really support each other, even after marriage and after having kids. Because a lot of Filipino family here in the Philippines, they tend to focus too much on the family and they forgot themselves. So I think we also need that kind of environment as well, where na even if 40 na tayo or older, we could still pursue our passion and do something new and explore who we are, because life is a process, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was a really huge and enlightening chikahan. Chair Lisa, for last question, I think, and I think this dito natin matetest ang former beauty queen life mo. Joke lang.
Can you please repeat the question? Okay.
do do you need an interpreter?
Oh my God. O,
So
game.
game.
Baka
So
ma-rectify
for
yung nangyari sa akin nung una kong pageant. Sabi nila masyado daw intellectual yung sagot ko noon. So, hindi ako nanalo. hindi ako yung naging number one. Ano lang ako, ano ba ako? Second runner-up. Parang ganun. Or first runner. Kakalimutan ko na. O, game.
yung question ba was, sinong nauna, itlog o manok?
Hirap naman. Oh my
It's hard to
God.
answer that, actually. It's hard to answer that.
It's really hard to answer that, but I would say egg. It's like a
Saan ang
seed.
galing ang egg? So it's an endless. So the last question would be, as a beauty queen and a public servant, and also a mother, a woman who has her personal passion and advocacy as well, and as a partner, wife, how will you improve yourself for the next 3 years, especially now with your new appointment? How what is there? What can people sort of like look for and tune about what will be the next of Chair Liza Diño? Is there like an aspiration to go in a higher office, or aspiration in proceed on international acting, or something like that? What people can expect for the next 3 years for Liza Diño?
Siguro, for me to really fully embrace my role as a leader, I think unless you really commit to the role and the responsibility of being a leader, and to be able to really affect change, that you can look into yourself and inwardly kung paano ka matututo at mas lalo kang magiging effective. So, ang dami kong natutunan through the years on how I can be better as a person, but at the same time, yung pag-equip ko rin yung sarili ko to have the qualities of being a leader. It's a lot of changes that I need to do within myself. I used to be super emotional to the point na that authenticity is sometimes defeating yung resolve ko as a leader, di ba? Kung kahit na authentic ka, di ba? Yun naman kailangan natin, maging authentic tayong tao. Pero pag yung authenticity na yun nakaka-affect na yun, para mawala yung inspiration na pwede mong ibigay sa stakeholders mo, then you have to find ways to expand and look into that and improve that. So siguro my next 3 years is still gonna be about learning and becoming a better leader, understanding more on ground, listening more what's happening on ground, to align with the stakeholders and find opportunities to really find a common ground. Like seriously, like kasi minsan may tendency ka na pag napakinggan mo sila tapos hindi siya aligned sa ano mo, tapos nagalit sila sa'yo, very resistant sila, titigil ka na na parang okay, sige, hindi ko pipilitin. But no at the end of the day, they are part of a whole. So, hindi pwedeng ma-isolate yung mga needs nila. So, it's harder kasi parang it's taking so much of you to to go out of your way to really go beyond. But I feel like I really love what I do, and I'm willing to do that. So, yun. Kasi, yun yung kailangan ng industry natin eh. Ang laki-laki ng potential natin as artists, as creators. But, we're always, ang barrier natin is yung mga sarili-sarili nating mga ego on how we can't really go outside and go out there to work with others.
Yan, pak! Winner! Pero Liza, thank you so much for gracing us on this episode of The Lounge. No, it's a new online talk show, but our goal is really to talk about transformative stories of individuals who are also not just doing great, but really making an impact to the communities that they support. And I strongly believe that you supported the film industry with all your hearts, despite all the scandals or criticism. You've been standing still with your red nail polish and red lipstick and just your, like, I can do it, I can do it, I can do better. I'm in
Yeah.
this position, so I could
Yeah.
feel your sense of responsibility for that position. And thank you so much for all the efforts that you've done for the Philippine industry and for being here at the launch. And yes, thank you.
Yay! Thank you, Radel. I really,
Finally,
I
after the pandemic, finally we met at least online.
I know. So thank you then. And thank you for what you do. Alam mo, parang nakakatuwa how you always, you know, in your own way, really represent um, the gay Muslim community and how you're able to stand up for them no matter what. Actually, alam mo, dun kita na first encounter sa Twitter. Kasi alam ko
Oh,
dun,
yes.
diba? Parang dun tayo una nakapag-connect. So, you know what you do? Parang, wow. It's so, yun eh. Parang, I think it's so important to hold on to what you believe in. No matter what. Kasi,
No matter what.
diba? No matter what. Kasi alam mo totoo. Alam mo, ito yung katotohanan mo. Ito yung truth mo. And if you're true to yourself, then eventually everything else will follow. So, yeah. Thank you.
I also strongly believe that we always need to, be brave on everything that sets our world on fire. And for me, I have my own advocacy, and you also have your own advocacy. There will be criticism along the way, and it's a matter of us on how do we take those criticism. May it be in a learning point of view, or fight it, or probably have them together and work with them together.
Yeah.
So yun, thank you so much, Lisa, and it was a pleasure to have you. And see you next time, especially when you're back
in
from the
person.
US.
Okay.
Let's gala next time. So thank you, Lisa.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
So that's it for today, and it was a learning and delighting interaction with the Film Development Council of the Philippines Chairperson Liza Diño. Stay tuned for our next episode, and don't forget to follow our social media, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, A-Space Philippines, every Thursday, 8 p.m. Well, not really every Thursday, but every after Thursday, right? So until next time, and see you at the lounge. Bye!